I'll come back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another weekly sacred pipe ceremony. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and this is a little thing we do every week. I am sitting here on the banks of the beautiful Cedar River. This beautiful background to our beautiful ceremony. And there's a bit of smoke in the air. As you can see, the sun through the trees is a little bit orange because of the smoke in the air. But it's still pretty. So this is where we are sitting. So in a moment, when I set our sacred space, this is where you will be with me. We will virtually be in the same place. There we go. Hello, welcome. There's nobody on yet. I am talking to myself. And so I am just getting set up here. And so if you are new here, I will explain as I am setting up what exactly we are doing. So I do this ceremony almost on a daily basis. And once a week I come down here and I turn my camera on so that you can join me. I would be doing this whether there was anybody here or not. So, and this is definitely not one of those highly produced and special effect or edited blah 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 kind of thing. I'm just kind of a take me as you find me kind of person. I prefer that authenticity. So if I make mistakes, you get to see them. And I do make mistakes, a lot of them. But anyway, I'm just so glad you are here. I don't know if you could hear that siren. Hi, welcome in everybody. Yay, there's people coming in. Hello, welcome. I'm just getting set up. I am just getting my altar set up here. I just paused a moment because I don't know if you could hear the siren, but ambulance just went by. And when I can, when I'm not driving or something, I like to, when I hear a siren, I like to pause and send prayers, send Reiki to all the affected parties. I actually learned that in like 4th grade in Catholic school. My teacher, Sister Agnes, who actually became a really good friend of the family, like up until just a few years ago when she passed. So she was always one of my first initial spiritual teachers before I ever knew anything about shamanism or anything. Am I homeless? No, I'm not homeless. I just come down here to do pipe ceremony, which I will explain in a moment. Let's see what I missed. And so this ceremony, like I said, I went to Catholic school. I actually went to Catholic school from 1st grade all the way through college, and actually went to college at a Benedictine monastery. And that's why I'm no longer Catholic. No, just kidding. if I were ever, if whatever bee in my bonnet got to me or whatever, and I decided to go back and become Christian, I would probably become Catholic again because I don't know. There's just a lot of there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of good, but I think there's actually more magic, inherent magic in the Catholic religion than other ones. But that's just me. So hello and welcome. If you are new here, we are going to do our sacred pipe ceremony that I do every week at this time. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And to answer someone's question, I am not homeless. I just come down here. I mean, this is my home too. I mean, I do have a home with my kitty, but I spend so much time here as well. It's like, this is like my front porch. So anyway, so we're gonna do sacred pipe ceremony. What that is, if you've ever watched old westerns or anything like that, or know anything about Native American history, the sacred pipe, whenever they were signing treaties or doing anything else, they always smoked the pipe together. And I was at a different spot on the river yesterday, and this young woman came up and was asking me what I was doing. So I was explaining it to her, and I was like, like a peace pipe. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, oh, okay. We're getting to that point where people don't even know what a peace pipe is anymore. So Hollywood and white America labeled this the peace pipe because whenever the European folks would make treaties with the Native Americans would smoke the pipe, and so it can be called the peace pipe because they always smoke the pipe because it is so important. It's so the chanupa, the real name of it is a chanupa, and it has been around for 19 generations. The story goes that 19 generations ago, before the European settlers, before anything like that, there was a time of great drought and hunger, and the whole Lakota nation kind of got their encampment together in one place to try to survive. But even with that, there was still a lot of infighting and bickering. Asking where I live. I'm in Washington State, in Renton, Washington, just south of Seattle. So it was this time of kind of fighting. It said that the people had forgotten their connection with Mother Earth. So they were hungry, they were thirsty, they were fighting. There was not a lot of peace. So finally one day the chief told his two best scouts to head out and to not return until they found buffalo. Well, that's where you used to live as a kid? Cool. I'm just a little bit older than you, but I was raised in Minnesota, but I have now been a Washingtonian a little bit longer than I was a Minnesotan. But you can still hear the Minnesotan in my accent. Anyway, so the chief sent his two best scouts out to find game and said not to come back until they had found buffalo or had found game. So the scouts went out, and a couple days later they were out. They hadn't found anything. And as they got up one morning, they were looking across the plain, across the prairie. They saw a white buffalo calf coming at them. And it struck them really, it was like, okay, that's really strange, right? And as they watched, this white buffalo calf transformed into this beautiful young woman. And she had this white deerskin dress on with beads and fringes. She had feathers in her hair. And the first scout, when he saw her, started getting really lustful thoughts and wanted to make her his. And the second scout, seeing how she just kind of glided along the prairie without hardly even touching the ground, he realized that she was a spirit woman, a spirit being, and he was filled with reverence for her. So she finally arrived where they were, and she looked at the first scout and kind of waved him over to her, and he thought, great, this is my chance. And so he approached her, and as he got up to her, they were engulfed in this whirlwind of dust and sand and smoke, and it lasted for a minute or two. And when it finally dispersed, she was there all by herself with the bones of the first scout at her feet, and they were like bleached white, as if they had been there for years. And then she looked at the second scout, and he said he had nothing to worry about, that his heart was true, and that she wanted him to return to the chief and tell him what happened here, and tell him that I am coming and to prepare a place for me. And so the second scout ran back to the chief, told him exactly what had happened. The chief had everybody strike the camp, and they took all the lodges, all the separate lodges, and put them together on one giant lodge that the entire tribe could fit under. And they waited. And so they waited a couple of days. I think it was on the third day. It's usually on the third day in these stories. She appeared at the door of the lodge, and she entered, and she was carrying this medicine bundle wrapped in a deer skin. And she walked around the perimeter of the lodge 7 times before stopping in front of the chief and handed him that medicine bundle. And when he unwrapped it, it was the very first chanupa, the very first sacred pipe. It had a buffalo on the stem, and it had 12 eagle feathers hanging from it. And she taught them the meaning of the pipe, the power of the pipe, how to smoke it in a sacred manner, saying that the stem of the pipe is the divine masculine and the bowl of the pipe is the divine feminine. So when we put it together, it is all of creation. Oh, hi, Elijah. I keep trying to keep to my story, and I keep trying to be nice and respond to comments at the same time. I'm not a very good multitasker, so if I don't reply to comments, know that it's not personal. When I'm in the flow, it's hard to pay attention to all the comments, so I apologize for that. But so when we put the pipe together, it is the divine masculine and the divine feminine together as one, all of creation, right? The yin yang. So it becomes basically the divine presence in our hands. This, to the Lakota people who were nomadic at the time, this was church, and they could carry it with them wherever they went. And it's still, like, I come down here and I do my pipe ceremony every day. This is church. This is literally my church. It is how I connect to spirit. And that's why I do these videos, because I started doing these back when the pandemic started. Because we couldn't gather in person, so I want to do videos to give people a chance to connect, to bring the divine to people, to make it available to people so that they can connect to spirit, take the world off their shoulders for a moment or two, and feel connected again. And with everything that's going on right now, it's still very pertinent, right? And so the whole purpose, just like I mentioned, started talking about it as the peace pipe. The whole purpose of the sacred pipe is unity. It's about bringing together, recognizing the connection of all people, right? If you know what the medicine wheel is, you've probably seen it as like a hoop with a cross in it or an X, and it's got 4 colors: yellow, white, black, and red, just like this. That's why this is on my pipe. Those are the 4 races of humans under one hoop. And it's not homogenized, it's not all one color, it's the 4 distinct different colors, but one family, one tribe. In fact, there's what's called the Rainbow Tribe prophecies about how after the indigenous nations were be devastated and all of that like the children of the oppressors would come to the elders of the indigenous communities to find wisdom, and that there would come a time of the Rainbow Tribe when people of all nations would come together and recognize the unity of all races, of all people. And we're in that prophecy right now. And so that is why we smoke the pipe. That's why when I smoke the pipe, I mentioned I came down to the river the other day. I was at another spot where there's more people usually, and this young woman came up to ask what I was doing. And when I explained, she was like, "Oh my God, thank you for doing that work." Can I show my house? If you come, I do a video on Monday nights. I do medicine card readings on Monday nights, the same time, right here on my channel. And I do those from my apartment. So you won't see my entire apartment, but you'll see a little bit of it. So I invite you Monday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific, right here. So join me then. Anyway, and so like when I come to smoke the pipe, my main intention is, it's so weird. I don't want to, like when I say world peace, it takes on this connotation of, I just recently watched the movie Miss Congeniality again, and it's like all of the pageant people, like what do you want to see in the world? Is world peace is become kind of this doesn't have a lot of power, that phrase. It's just world peace, and it's like, what is world peace? But that's kind of what, when I smoke on my own during the week and such, I do prayers for myself. I have a booklet of prayer intentions for other people. Other people have asked me to do. And so I say prayers for my community, and I say prayers for the world. I actually send blessings. This might sound kind of strange, but I send blessings to the government, to the people in power, to the people as well, with the understanding that I don't know if this is controversial. It feels controversial to me because I don't think a lot of people would understand it, because we're so caught in that mentality of good and evil. In order to be good, there has to be something evil to push against. But from my viewpoint, all people are intrinsically good. Everyone, every person on the planet is divine in their essence. They are spirit. What they do and how they live is different than who they are. And so it's not a question of good versus evil. It's a question of love and fear. Some people live from love. I try to live from love. I try to make everything I do heart-centered, which includes praying for your enemies, right? Praying for those who harm you. Praying not for retribution or vengeance, but praying for awareness, praying for awakening, praying for transformation and change, because they are just as divine as anybody else. And we are all in this together, right? And there are so many, it's like, it's hard for me to say some things like that sometimes, because it's like, I feel like there's so many qualifications I should be putting on, or so many tangents, so much more context that I need to put around things like that. But the basic truth of it, it's that namaste thing, right? The divine in me sees the divine in you. And that includes anybody in front of me, whether it's the government, whether it's, someone off the street, a friend, a lover, whoever it is, no matter what they do, they are divine by nature. And so it's recognizing that divinity. And if you know anything about quantum physics and such, especially the double slit experiment, Google that if you don't know what that is. It is, in my mind, probably the most important scientific experiment that's ever happened so far, because it proves that consciousness, that perception is what creates reality. God, I am so far off on different tangents tonight. So, but this is who I am, okay? I hope that's all right. I don't have a script. I don't have expectations I'm trying to live up to, or at least I try not to. And so I kind of go wherever I go, right? And I hope you come along for the ride. I hope you enjoy the ride. But so the double slit experiment, what it set out to find out, the basic question was, is light a wave or a particle? And so they started this experiment with one slit. They had a barrier with a slit in it, and then they had a backdrop, and they sent light through the one slit, and it had the expected pattern on the background of what they would expect if light were a particle, I think. But when they created two slits, they made two slits, figuring that if light were a particle, it would have to choose one slit or the other slit to go through. And so the pattern on the backdrop would be different than if it was a wave, because if light were a wave, it would go through both of them. And the interference pattern on the backdrop would be totally different. Well, it turned out completely different from what anyone had expected, because it depended on whether anyone was looking or not. It depended if they were watching for the results, light would act as a particle, and they got that corresponding pattern on the backdrop as though light were a particle. But if no one was watching, then the light acted as a wave and went through both. And the interference pattern on the backdrop corresponded to that. Even if they had cameras so that someone would watch it later, light still acted like a particle. But they would have the cameras there, but they unplugged them, and the light acted as a wave because there was nobody watching. And so your perception of reality changes the reality you are looking at. And I'm not going to go into all the different experiences I've had in the training and exactly, but perception changes reality in a big way. If you want to know more about that, I recommend Sandra Ingerman's book, Medicine for the Earth. But it's in seeing the divine in each other that changes each other. It's the perception that changes. Not necessarily overnight, not necessarily all at once. And there's so many more things, but just I'm trying to consolidate everything because I want to get to the ceremony. And I got off on these tangents, but like one channel named Bartholomew that I used to follow, he used to say, whatever it is God, right? Whatever it is divine. And one of the prayers I say to myself all the time, is I pray, let me see the divine presence in every moment. And like I like to say, if you can't see the divine presence in a certain moment, you are the divine presence in that moment. But there is no separation. That's what it comes down to. There is no separation. We are all connected. We are all part of the same, not just the same family, we are part of the same energy. The universe is vibrations, frequencies. There's only one of us here. So, yeah. So I'll give you that to ponder on for a while and finally get to our ceremony. Usually I do a lot of talking afterwards, but I guess it had to come out earlier. Hi everybody, welcome. I see some new people have come in. Welcome, I hope you're enjoying yourself. I kind of explained the pipe earlier if you didn't see the beginning. But what we're doing is the sacred pipe ceremony. You may know it as the peace pipe. And the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to set sacred space. This is what we whenever we do ceremony, the first thing we do is set sacred space. We basically call in the elements and the spirits to hold space around us, to hold a higher vibration of love and light around us, creating this energetic container where the lower vibrational things cannot come in. And what that does, rather than being a form of protection against all those evil things out there that want to eat our souls, it's more of a focusing. It's like when you cook a meal and you put your ingredients into a pot and you put it on the heat to create this artificial environment where things can mesh and come together in these alchemical ways that don't happen when they're just sitting on the counter, right? We're creating this pot, creating this artificial environment where we can, because we're being watched over, because we're being surrounded in this energetic container, we can let down our own guard, we can let down our own armor, right? We can open our heart because you can't grasp water, right? You can only hold water with open hands. And it's the same with your heart. You can't grasp your blessings with a closed heart. And so by setting sacred space, that allows us that space to be able to breathe, to connect, to open up in order to receive those blessings coming to us from Creator. Um, and when we're going through our day, this is why I started this whole thing back during the pandemic, because with all of the crap that's going on in the world right now, we tend to close up. We tend to walk through our day in protective mode, right? Which is fine. But if we're like that all the time, there's no room for the blessings, for the magic, etc. to come in. And so I started doing this once a week in order to give people the opportunity to breathe, to let go, to put down the armor, knowing that they are safe, that they are seen, that they are sacred. That is why I do this. So this is how I set that sacred space. And pay attention to how you feel right now, and see if you feel any different when I'm done, okay? Spirits of the earth, spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, spirits of the upper world, spirits of the lower world, compassionate spirits of the middle world, the Fae, the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for holding us in your love and your light. Oh. I know if you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you'll probably notice every time I set sacred space, as soon as I'm done setting sacred space, there is almost always a great big sigh. It's palpable. The feeling of the energy is palpable. And I can suddenly breathe again. Even though I didn't notice I wasn't breathing well before or whatever, it's like I can actually fill my lungs. Anyway, so welcome to Sacred Space. So to explain, just to give you a kind of a blow by blow of what is going to happen, so you can kind of follow along. It's going to happen. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to light some sage, and I brought some sweetgrass with me too. So I'm going to be burning some sage and some sweetgrass. Sweetgrass, oh my God, I love it. Is said to be the love of Mother Earth reaching up for her children. And what the world needs now is love, sweet love. So I thought I'd put some sweetgrass into that mix as I smudge everything on my altar, smudge myself. I will send some smudge your way as well. Bringing more love into the world. And then once everything is clear, I will raise my pipe, I will say a prayer, asking permission to smoke in this place at this time. Assuming the answer is yes, I have gotten no's before, but if the answer is yes, that is when I will put the pipe together. And like I said earlier, that's the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together in unity, right? The stem is organic, the stem is wood, the stem is the masculine. It's like, it's the part of the world that it's the temporal. It's the dancer. What is that? There's that song about The dancer is the masculine. The feminine is the creator. This is the hub of the wheel. This is literally the womb, right? This is the womb where the fire goes. This is the center. And when I move the pipe around, when I'm doing offerings, etc., you'll notice that the divine feminine is central and the masculine moves around it. So when we put the pipe together, it's all of creation, masculine and feminine as one. Bring together not only the masculine and feminine of the world, the masculine and feminine within each person, but the masculine and feminine within us, calling forth our divinity, which is beyond gender, right? So I ask permission, I'll put the pipe together. Then the next thing I'll do is I will take 4 pinches of tobacco and I will put that in my pipe, and that part I do out loud. So you'll hear me saying those prayers and offerings. Always offering in the 4 directions, basically. 4 is a sacred number, right? It's the wheel. And so that part you'll hear out loud. And once the pipe is filled, I have a song my guides have asked me to sing before each ceremony. They taught me this song, so I will sing that once my pipe is filled. Then that is when I will light it. And then the next thing you'll see is done in silence. But what you'll see me doing, I'll take a big puff of my pipe, and then I will go around the circle, aiming the pipe, offering the pipe, the smoking end, to the various directions. And I will blow that puff of smoke, that smoke blessing, to that direction. And I'll do that all around east, south, west, and north, and then to Father Sky, to Mother Earth, in a circle for all our relations, and then to Creator. And then I will pause for a moment with the stem to my forehead, right, masculine, mind, and the bowl to my heart, right, feminine, heart, and I will say some silent prayers. Then I'll come back, and I'll probably have to relight the pipe at that point. And then the next thing I do is I'm gonna take a great big puff of smoke again. I'm gonna blow it straight at my camera. That is a blessing coming from the pipe, from the Tobacco Nation, and by the magic of the internet and the holographic universe coming out, whatever device you're watching this on, to your heart. So that is the time where you want to say your biggest, bestest prayers, or set your biggest, bestest intentions. Right now we're just past the full moon, and so this is the perfect time to release things, right? The moon is getting smaller in the sky, moving more toward the new moon, and so as the moon diminishes, it's a great time being in the flow and resonance with the natural cycles. It's a great time to let go of those things that no longer serve us, right? Anyway, so that is, I will blow that straight at my camera. That is your blessing. And then I will go on to continue smoking for my own intentions, global intentions, like I said, and also, like I mentioned, I have my little book here of intentions that people have asked me to pray for. And so if you ever have anything going on, big or small, but you want prayers, you want someone to focus on them, you want to kind of exponentially increase the power of your prayers, let me know, and I will write them in this book. And this remains on my altar and is here whenever I do pipe ceremony, which is not necessarily every single day, but pretty much, but almost daily. I always say almost daily. So anyway, so I will be smoking for my own and others' prayer intentions. And when you see me blowing out a puff of smoke, feel free to connect your own prayers to that smoke. What we're doing is we're attaching, like when I take that puff of smoke and I think about my prayer, like I feel the prayer in my heart and I kind of breathe it up into my mouth with the smoke and I blow that out to Great Spirit, and the smoke carries your prayers to Great Spirit. And so we'll do that for a while until it feels complete. And then when we're done, I will raise my pipe again. I will say another prayer. And that the final prayer, I used to just kind of do it off the top of my head, but I found a lot that I was getting stuck in my left brain trying to, okay, what do I pray for now? What's current? What should I say? Which would take me out of the prayer, right? And so one of the things that I do among the plethora of things I offer is light language. And so the prayer at the end will be in light language. So you won't understand the words or anything. It'll just sound like sounds and syllables to you. But that's kind of on purpose. It's more about the frequency and the thought of the energy rather than the words. And what it does keep us out of our left brain, especially I as the prayer, keeps me out of my left brain so I can be a more pure channel. And so what I ask people to do, or just say for people, is just to, again, open your heart and just receive, see how those sounds make you feel. I keep looking back because the grasses behind me are laughing. See how it makes you feel. And really that is the benchmark of anything, right? Is how does it make you feel? And I mean not like instant gratification kind of thing, or like getting a hit of dopamine or whatever, but feeling deeper, feeling the rightness of being, right? The joy, the underlying joy of life, the underlying rightness and harmony of all things. So then I probably won't have time to talk afterwards because we're really pushing it on the time, but and then I have some announcements and such to make at the end and talk a little bit more, and then we will close our circle, and we'll call it a night. So, all right, I think that is everything. Wet my whistle a little. So here we go. Thank you for joining me, no matter who you are, what you believe, what race, what gender, whatever. I welcome you, and you are safe here. You are seen. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. May the beauty of the fire lift your spirits higher. May the beauty of the earth fill your heart with mirth. May the beauty of the rain wash away your pain. May the beauty of the sky make your mind to fly. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. May the beauty of the fire lift your spirits higher. May the beauty of the earth fill your heart with mirth. May the beauty of the rain wash away your pain. May the beauty of the sky make your mind to fly. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. May you walk in beauty in a sacred way. May you walk in beauty each and every day. Oh. Grandmother, grandfather, eagle, we send a voice. We ask permission to smoke in this place at this time. All our guides and guardians watch over us as we smoke. Creator, Earth Mother, Tawabin, Shanadisi, Majakiwas, and Waboos, there is always room for you in my pipe. Creator, Earth Mother, for the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged, the crawlers and the swimmers, all our relations come smoke with us. Grandmother Moon, Grandmother Ocean, the energy of birth, growth, maturity, the spirit realm and our ancestors. May all the passages of our lives be in harmony and grace. Creator, Earth Mother, to eagle, coyote, bear, white buffalo calf woman, bringer of the pipe and the law of good relations to the people. Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane. Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane. Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane, Bayama Okane. Grandmother, grandfather, eagle, descendant mother voice. Papahai hingdapao, tabahakatai, tamahagarako, nahai, tamahahai namaku, pahahamaki, kakai labai maku, talaka, tamahai rapuhu, tamakita laki rumubagai, talahi nangadakubu, apapahadapakahe. Tahana ha ho tukapekahe, tuhukupuhu, talabakahai, tamahok, takahai nahai, taho go ho pagalahe, tamahakatahai, tahukatapaha, namaha hei hukatapahai namaku, tuhukatapahai, tamahata, tuhukuhu papa, mamahara hatahai, tamakatahai, takahai, takahai, naho. Ihila ihio, ihila ihio, ihila ihio, ihi Oh, wow. Oofda. I hope that you were able to feel a little more whole, a little more ease, a little more connected, a little more purpose. This is just like I mentioned earlier, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school all the way from first grade through college at a Benedictine monastery. And so I know my way around ceremony and ritual. And this is hands down the most powerful ceremony that I have experienced. And so I thank you for sharing that with me. And I guess we're right at our time, so I need to release our sacred space. But first, just a reminder to, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and like my videos. That helps the algorithm apparently to help more people find me. And I actually used to do this on Facebook, and I moved to YouTube recently in the last few months as a way to expand my own voice. You know, the more the merrier. Oh, that's very cool. You grew up Pentecostal, turned atheist, and finding now some similar to this. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you, you. If you can't see the comments, the person's name on here is you. And so spread the love, if you know anyone that might benefit, please share high and low. Invite people. This will go onto my page, and I have over 6 years worth of these ceremonies on my YouTube channel, so that's a free resource for you if you're ever feeling out of sorts and need some sacred space, need some centering or whatever. Have at it. And if you would like more interaction with me, if you require a shaman, or would like to learn more, you can visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And all these links are in the description under this video. But you can check out my website. You can learn more about me, see the different services, shamanic services I offer, readings and healings and teachings. Oh my! I do card readings and shamanic readings. I do healings. I'm also a Reiki master. And I weave the Reiki into my shamanic training. I do soul retrieval, fairy doctoring, all kinds of good stuff. That's like some of my favorite aspects of my job. And I teach classes. I've got a couple coming up that I haven't quite scheduled yet. I will let you know. But you can follow me on Facebook. That's usually where I post those as well. The event page on Facebook usually. So you can go to my Perching Wolf Studios Facebook page to keep up to date on that kind of thing too. What else? And if you are newly awakened, I know I've had a lot of people come to me who just had an awakening experience and they're not sure where to go, or having a crisis of faith or whatever and don't know where to go. I do one-on-one shamanic, can I say counsel? I'm not sure if counseling, if legally I can say counseling, but coaching, that's it. I do one-on-one shamanic coaching if you need a shamanic perspective, or you would like me to journey to my guides to find out what you need or what's the best step forward or whatever. And if you would like a teacher, a one-on-one teacher, I do personal mentoring, one-on-one mentoring with students. So I just started a new student the other day, and it was just amazing. I love this work. I love my job. And I would be so honored to be a part of your path, a part of your growth. Anything else? Like I mentioned earlier, I do another video every week on Monday nights where I do the medicine card reading. So join me then, same time, just on Monday nights. The first 6 people that come onto the video and say yes in the comments get a 1 card reading. And I always set aside an hour and a half for that, but it usually is lately, last few weeks, it's been going to like 2 hours. So, but please join me then as well. We all could use a little bit of guidance, and that's why I do that. So join me, find me, connect with me, contact me. I would be honored to do whatever I can do to further you on your path. That's my job. So I think that's it. So thank you so much for joining me. Even if you are watching this on a replay or after the fact or a year from now, Ellen Watson, Carl Jung, and now me. Oh my God. I couldn't be in better company. Those are 2 of my heroes as well. So thank you. You have no idea how high a compliment that is. I appreciate that. Wow, you just stunned. Wow, that blows me away. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Wow. Okay, so that short circuit whatever else I was gonna say. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you enjoyed this, I always forget about the other part, and you would like to reciprocate in a different way, I also have my PayPal and Venmo links in the description under this video. This is my day job. This is how I make a living. So anything you wish to give, I accept it I am so deeply appreciative of anything you do to help support me so that I can focus on my spiritual path and have more to offer you to support you on your path. That's how it works. We walk each other home. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for participating in this beautiful, beautiful ceremony. I hope you will come back next week. I'm going to release our sacred space, let the spirits go back from whence they came, although they're always here anyway, but that's another story. Spirits of the earth, spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, spirits of the upper world, spirits of the lower world, compassionate spirits of the middle world, the Fae, the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for holding us in your love and your light. Our work for now is done, but you are always welcome in our circles. Thank you for welcoming us into yours. All right, my friends. Again, thank you so much. This is always a highlight of my week. I appreciate you so much just for being here. And I hope you will come back next week, invite your friends, and until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right, bye now.